G'day everybody, how you going today? It is so good to see you. I do hope you are super well. Now I've got some news. It's some pretty shocking news in a way, and if you haven't heard already, because it's absolutely reverberating all over the internet and all over YouTube, DPreview, 25-year-old DPreview is closing down. Now, when I first read this a couple of hours ago, I woke up to see this headline. It's like, is this an April Fool's Day joke? Yes or no? And the answer is absolutely not. Now, having seen the boys themselves talk about it from the YouTube channel, they have said they've got a few months or a month or so to go to see articles on various outlets, including The Verge. I've checked a minimum of 3 sources, and absolutely this appears to be true. So why I've decided to go live today, and I know this is impromptu, and I know people are going to go, oh my God, here he is suddenly. And that's for us, our community. I think anyone who is in this space, anyone who's been part of this space for any amount of time, knows the YouTube boys, knows DPreview, and has been using it as a resource. So this is an absolutely, it really is a massive shock. Now, a while ago, like DPreview was started 25 years ago by an individual, and it got bought out by Amazon. I'm not exactly sure when, maybe something like somewhere between 10 and 15 years ago. So it would seem that Amazon has made a choice to just simply cut this entire website and this entire community and the endless amount of data and endless amount of reviews and endless amount of comments. I'm not sure this story is over yet. I have a feeling there might be so much community input that maybe the website will sit there and we will be able to view it as a resource going forward. I don't know. But I want this live stream to be about us sharing with each other what we feel about this and also our experiences. What were our first experiences with DPreview? What can we remember? And what does it mean to us? I mean, what I can tell you is, I believe it started in 1998. I'd been a photographer for almost 10 years at that point in time, and digital was coming. And it was like, well, where do we learn about this new digital photography thing? Where do we learn about it? And lo and behold, DPreview began. And it has serviced us absolutely brilliantly that whole time, just covering so much stuff. And I believe, having a quick look at their website, there's something like 11 employees, somewhere in that vicinity, who've been looking after us, sharing the news, getting all of the information out there in a timely manner. And I know when you've got to get a new lens review or a new camera review out, you've got to launch it at exactly the right moment and under NDAs. It takes a lot of time and it's a lot of pressure. And it would seem that DPreview are a victim of the tech industry's massive cuts. We've seen it from Meta/Facebook. We've seen it from Google, and we're seeing it here from Amazon. I think there's something like 9,000 employees that they have cut, which is massive. So it's fantastic to see all of these people in the comments here. I'm just going to have a quick look because this is what today is about. I don't want to talk. I want us to all share together how we feel about it. Seth, great to see you, man. G'day, Tim, Kevin, Joe. Yeah, I agree with you, Seth. There will always be something to fill the gap. But this, I suppose for me, it's like DPreview started before even YouTube was a thing. So it's like absolutely, from my perspective. And look, we do have some other people that were in this space, like Ken Rockwell and Camera Labs, and I know that there are others. But DPreview to me was always kind of the rock that you would go to for the most unbiased content, or most objective content would probably be the best way of putting it. And you know, back then, before YouTube and YouTube influence, I don't think we were even thinking about biases or any of that sort of stuff. It was just like, oh my God, there's this new digital camera industry and we're all really getting into it. Anyway, let's see what else you're saying. G'day, Photo Discourse. Yeah, totally. This is a massive shock. I mean, the thing that I find difficult to understand is, and maybe this will come out in the wash, is presumably they were selling cameras. You know, you'd look at a review and then someone would go and buy a camera through Amazon. So not, you know, wasn't it driving people to do that? And you know, or is this just so big picture? Is it just 9,000 employees and they're just a very small fraction of that, and that's just the way it goes? It's possible that we will never really know what's happened in this space. But anyway, again, I just love everybody to tell me their thoughts and their memories about this. Yeah, I know Acroflyer. I was going to get to that they are moving to petapixel. So I watched their video for leaving DPreview. They didn't talk about petapixel, but there's already a video on petapixel. So it's great to see that those guys are making it over there. And let me just keep reading. Yeah, it's great to see that Chris and Jordan will go on, but the rest of DPreview, and right now what it says on their website is the website will be taken down. So that resource will disappear. Those, who knows, millions and millions of comments will disappear. All that data and all that information will disappear. Who knows? You'd think Amazon, who are one of the biggest cloud servers, one of the biggest people that serve information to the world, they have a lot of petabytes, terabytes, gigabytes, megabytes, all of the bytes. They probably have more bytes than anybody to be able to give just a tiny little percentage of that to just keep DPreview sitting there, even if there's no new content. Who knows? Who knows what the plan is? G'day, Leo. Oh, you've retracted your message. Terry, April 1st, so close. Yeah, look, I wondered that myself, but it really does not look like that this is a joke. There is so many news outlets, and Jordan and Chris have talked about it themselves in two different places, both on Petapixel and on DPreview. I just don't see it happening. JKM, yeah, it's a big loss. Well, thanks, PD. I appreciate that you look to people like me and Seth for unbiased information. We do our best. You know, this might allow me to segue into something that I've wanted to talk about for a long time in regards to bias and attitude in general. And please keep the comments going below. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts about DPreview and some of your memories. Like, was there ever a review that you read on DPreview and that made you go and buy it before all of the rest of us existed? Because I've been certainly using that website pretty much for the entire 25 years. Yes, but what I wanted to say about bias or unbiased and attitude is, I made a video a couple of years ago just simply stating, regardless of how biased or unbiased anybody wants to be, we're always going to have some degree of bias. It's almost impossible. And that ultimately just becomes simple things like, what does a camera look like? And what a camera looks like is absolutely subjective. It's not objective. And even the looks of a camera might influence us one way or another. So I would tender, it's extraordinarily difficult to be 100% unbiased. Extraordinarily difficult. But certainly people like me and Seth, we try, that's for sure. Another thing I wanted to touch on was, people sometimes say to me that I'm kind of too positive. And that's just me. That's just the way I see the world. I am very much a glass half full rather than a glass half empty person. I've run my own photographic business for 33 years. It's a long time. I'm in small business. And one of the attitudes that I brought to this business was, you have to make the best of everything. And so that DNA, that approach to life just permeates what I do. And it permeates what I do in everything. And it doesn't matter what camera, what lens, what situation, whether I'm here, you know, if my light here, the batteries go flat, the sun's changing in the background, it's okay. You know what? We'll make the best of it. I could complain about it, or I could just keep on keeping on. So yes, thank you, PD, for reminding me to make that little statement there. But I'm just a glass half full person, and that's all there is to it. Anyway, hopefully people are continuing to share. So let's have a look here. Lovely to see Tim Halfwork. G'day from Australia. Yeah, absolutely. The forums are one of the biggest resources, and for my rarest little things I use around my photography, I often find answers only on DP. I mean, isn't it just astonishing that the amount of information that must be there? I don't know if anybody knows, but it would have to be in the tens, if not hundreds of millions of comments across every single article. Don't know how many articles, but there must be thousands and thousands. It's just strange. And it's almost like someone needs to pick all that information up and maybe put it somewhere else. But of course, Amazon own it. They own it all, so they don't have to do anything. Who knows what will happen? It's a really interesting thing. G'day, Ryan Troy. Good to see you here. How are you? How have you been? I haven't spoken to you in a long time. Mike Hyde. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that comment, Mike. Thank you so much. Yeah, good point. Seth, I love that comment. You rock, man. Seth, if you haven't seen Seth's comment, he says, I'm biased towards good stuff. Well, that's a really, I mean, yeah, I think that is the most poignant and brilliant way you could possibly make that point. So thank you, Seth. I think you and I might have to make a video.
Sure, I understand.
Yes, thank you, Siri. I think you and I might have to make a video about that. That we're just simply biased toward good stuff. Can I tell everybody? Last night I took a camera club out for a walk around the city. You know how I like to shoot at night and shoot in the laneways. And they said, Matt, we want you to take us out. And there was about 17, 18 people with every type of camera. We had like Canon DSLRs, we had mirrorless cameras, we had Sony, we had Olympus, we had them all. I think the only camera I didn't see there was a Leica. What I did see was a GFX 100, the small one. Is that the S or the non-S? I can't remember. Far out. I don't think I've ever actually seen one of those cameras in the flesh, Mr. Miranda. And wow, was I impressed by its the IBIS. Like, we're shooting at night, slow shutter speeds, quarter of a second. The gentleman had a 1.7 lens. I can't remember what lens that was. And it was just creating the most beautiful images. They were tack sharp, even at a quarter of a second. We are after sunset. So I'm excited. I think this gear is awesome. It fits my use case. Biased, not biased. I'm not biased, as Seth says. It's awesome. Anyway, let's go back to the comments. Remember, tell me what you think about DP review. Yeah, lots of, hi Jack, great to see you. Lots of reviews will be lost. Yeah, I wish someone would take over DP review. Hey Seth, do we need a new job? Do we want to take over DP review? I wonder if someone would fund us to do that. We need to talk to some of our rich friends, whoever they might be. Anyway, we can chat about it offline because that could be fun. Anyway, if anyone else, it's the S. Yeah, I mean, what a camera the 100S is. Lots of reviews will be lost. Yeah, I mean, April B, they're definitely cutting costs. I mean, what does this mean? Does it mean literally that the DP review unit, that little tight-knit team literally wasn't carrying their own weight? I mean, it's an interesting thing to me because they're literally funneling people to the online store. Regardless of whether they bought a camera, they might go off and buy something else. So yeah, it's shocking to me. And I mean, we can't see the numbers that are behind the scene that might be informing what's changing over time. Who knows? We can't see it. Yes, Blythe, wonderful to see you. Forums are, for many of us, is a major input in our decision-making process. You included, Matt. Well, thank you, Blythe. I appreciate that. Yeah, Amazon will find it hard to sell cameras. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Does this mean that this entire community, and we know it's big because if we look at the biggest photography YouTuber that's there, it's Peter McKinnon, and he is 5 million plus subscribers. And then the next ones down from that might be Fro and Tony, 1.5 million. So our community sits at somewhere between, let's say, 2 million and 5 million. I'm sure there's a few people not so into photography that watch Peter because Peter does all sorts of stuff. He's cool. So it's a huge community, and that funnel of all of those millions of people is not going to be necessarily going as quickly and as automatically to Amazon. Strange move. I agree. It's a strange move. Yeah, no, Seth, I was hoping that you had rich friends. I was just, anyway, we could work it out. Maybe we should just look in the couch. We might find some coins, some dollar bills. You never know. There could be some future there. Might be someone. Yeah, Joe, we don't know whether the vids will be removed. I've actually read an article about that. It's unknown at this point. Amazon haven't responded. DPreview haven't responded. Amazon owns all this stuff. So, I mean, it's a really intriguing, but they have said that the website will be closing. So who knows? Who knows? I really don't understand. Yeah, they blame their parent company, says PJ Smith. What are you thinking? Are you thinking it's something else that's happening there? Let me know what you're thinking. Matt, are you opening a new alternative? Yes, Mozman. Well, I was just talking to Mr. Seth Miranda and maybe you, Mozman. Maybe we can start DP. What would be a new name that we wouldn't get sued, but was suitably close? Like, do you know when I very first saw DPreview, I thought it was DPreview. How about that? I thought it was digital preview, previewing new cameras. That's how I saw it. Maybe it could be D-preview. Anyway, if anyone's got any ideas in the comments below, there is a void that's going to be created. I think Chris and Jordan moving over to Petapixel is awesome, but it's going to be a different shaped beast. I was thinking about the fact that because they're part of Amazon, which must be a massive seller of cameras, perhaps one of the biggest in the world, if not the biggest, they get access to gear. Now, I don't know whether Petapixel will get the same access. So who knows? I mean, they might not. But it will take a different shape. So I do think there's a space there. But you know what? I didn't start this live stream to talk about what's next. I started this live stream to talk about it's for us in the community to share our feelings and our memories and to sort of pass on our commiserations to those who have lost their jobs. That's a very serious thing, people losing their jobs. And what are they all going to do? We can see that Chris and Jordan have moved on, but who knows for everybody else? How are we going in the comments here? Do you think this opens up more opportunities for people like you, Matt, for more reviews and for more products? Sure. Yeah, look, who knows? It's very difficult to say how and why camera companies suddenly decide to interface with you on that level. I don't know why it happens, but it certainly means that one of the biggest outlets we have today, one of the people that get the most traction when they put a video out, and their growth has been immense. And that's because they literally have access to everything that comes out. And, if that's not happening anymore, if that's not there anymore, well, yeah, it changes the landscape. So who knows? I hope so. Sony, Fuji, Leica, Panasonic, everybody else, DJI, if you want to send me stuff, I'm here. I'm waiting. I'm ready. It's all good. Tim, don't forget about Steve Perry and Morton Hilmer, my wildlife friend. No, I won't forget about them at all. They still exist, but I don't believe that they've been around as long. And let me know if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they've been around as long as DPreview. They've pretty much been around since Ken the Rockwell, since the beginning of time almost. Yes, Robert, money rules everything. That's absolutely true. AP Studios, I have to compliment you on your set today. Lighting, colors, background. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Chuck. I appreciate that because I actually spent a long time. I'm a bit sad the sun's not shining anymore. It looked better. But yes, I appreciate you seeing all of this. That's lovely because, it's super. It's interesting. Some people don't seem to care about what their environment looks like when they're either getting a photograph taken or they're YouTubing. I'm a photographer and a filmmaker, so I kind of think everything should look as good as possible within the confines of time, budget, and so on. I put this together pretty quickly because I wanted to get out to the community and share it. And it's a good time. It's not like for me, it's the morning, but for North America and maybe parts of Europe, it's getting pretty late, but North America, it's now the afternoon/evening. So it's a good time. So I just had to jump with it. Good time for me to go live, which I'll be doing more of in the future. Yes, PJ Smith. I don't know what you're talking about. DPreview website was one of the best design sites I've used. Would be great if that void could be filled by a new site somehow. Yes, good point, Phil. Excuse me while I cough for a moment. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of astonishing. There is no other library. Like, to me, it's like a library for our community. It's a global library for our community. There's no other library like it. I would be hard pressed to think that they haven't almost commented on everything photography related, and almost every, probably not quite every, but close to every piece of gear created. Whether it's something about the Hubble telescope and what it's doing, loosely related. Well, no, that's not loosely related, or whatever cameras NASA is taking up to the space shuttle and so on. It's not just about gear. Issues in regards to changes in copyright, all sorts of stuff. They've talked about the entire community. And I really like seeing some of those articles that are not just gear related, but sort of looking behind the scenes. Do let me know in the comments how much more. And look, I know from my numbers, people are just not as interested in kind of the behind the scenes stuff. But I feel like there's more. I feel like there's a space in there in the middle somewhere where we can just talk a bit more about the community, a bit more about the industry, rather than just gear all the time. You can let me know what you think about that in the comments below. See, I'm long-sighted. I can see over here fine, but when I've got to read, I've got to put my goggles on. That's the way it goes. Perhaps Phil Askey will open DPreview 2.0. Yes. Absolutely, Mozman. So Phil is the original creator of DPreview. For those first few years, he was the person doing everything, and we can only hope. Although I suppose we don't really know what happened when Amazon acquired it. It's possible Phil was in a situation where he could kind of semi-retire. And I have no idea how old he is, but I'm guessing he might not want to come back. Who knows? Does anyone know much about Phil? Let us know in the comments below. PJ, very sad to see the forums go. I love the forums and still am active on Nikon. Yeah, absolutely, PJ. Yes, great. Well said, Tim. They're just really easy to navigate and to understand. Yes, they could. Yes, Seth, I suppose they could sell the catalog. Hi, Deborah. Fantastic to see you. Thanks for joining us. I've looked to them when thinking about buying older lenses or camera. They were a library. Exactly. It's exactly right. Now, Joe, who shoots with me sometimes, he's looking at DPreview. He also goes back and looks at Ken Rockwell as well, because that site, I'm not sure it's changed format in 20 years, but it's still there and it's still full of great information. Imagine if that site disappeared as well. Like, it's just weird. But this is capitalism, I suppose. It doesn't mean anything to the parent. They're just moving on. I don't know. It's early days. I think we're only like 7 or 8 hours into this news coming out, and the feedback from the community, which is in the millions, may have some sway. Who knows? Maybe we can think of a plan moving forwards. Just losing the lens test data comparison tool is going to hurt. Yeah, I mean, I haven't used it recently, Mozman, but is it literally every lens? Is it literally every lens they've ever? You can literally choose any and every lens. And if that's the case, that's epic. That is epic. Totally epic. Totally epic. Oh, yeah. Okay. What are you saying there, Mozman? Frono's forums. What do you mean by that? Please clarify. Gunther, I really hope the site remains up as a resource. It will be criminal to let all those reviews disappear. Yeah, I mean, it's privately owned. I just don't know. And you'd think, as I've already just said, Amazon is such a massive company. And one of their major businesses is serving websites. And they're one of the best at it in the world. This would probably take up 1% of 1% of one, like 1/1 millionth, not even 1/1 millionth of what they do. I reckon smaller, because they probably work for some massive companies that really churn a lot of data. Like, for all we know, they serve Netflix, they serve whoever, and they have way more zeros and ones flying around streaming video than just the comment section and the reviews in DPreview. Interesting. And we know they have money. Just look at Amazon TV and the creations they make on Amazon TV, which cost a fortune. They cost a fortune. They'd be serving. Oh, Seth's comment. Okay, what did Seth say? Watch froze start some kind of form. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, Joe, Canon is an amazing resource. He was there. He was there at the start. DxO, you're a good point. DxO Mark is another good technical resource. Yeah, I wonder what keeps them going. It's somebody's birthday. No, sorry. Somebody's saying g'day. I need better. I need new glasses. That's what I need. So, yeah, exactly, Gunther. It would literally take a rounding error for Amazon to be able to keep the servers going, even if they just kind of lock it down. No more comments, no more anything. Just lock it. Just freeze it at this state, and it's like this enormous wealth of tome of information like we've never seen before, and we may never see again, because photography at one stage was much bigger than it is now. There was way more cameras being sold, a lot more people talking about it, and gosh, to lose all of that just would be absolutely astonishing. Yes, we've got some birthday cakes there. Yeah. I don't know. Does anyone know how DxO runs? Does anyone know what keeps DxO going, and how they make their money? And whilst I just get a few more comments from you guys about how you're feeling about it all, just a little bit of history about Chris and Jordan. Now, they, as we've talked about, they have already said they're moving to Petapixel, and they are saying that they're going to be creating some slightly different content. It'll be more than just reviews of cameras and lenses. That's exciting. I'm interested to see that. Now, they came originally from the camera store, and I was first starting to think about being on YouTube as that process was happening. And that was 5 years ago that they moved from the camera store, which I think is Canadian, to Amazon/DPreview. So for them, this is their third adventure, and they've got to be feeling. It's quite a roller coaster ride. They've got to be feeling excited, but I certainly want to send out my cheers, commiserations, and my cheers, and I wish you the very best of luck in your endeavors. Petapixel, what's amazing is you guys, just to shout out to Chris and Jordan, they grew. DPreview was maybe 50,000 subscribers or something when those guys turned up. I don't remember the number because I just don't remember. And they have managed to grow that in the last 5 years to over 400,000 subscribers. And I think Petapixel is, again, a small channel. If someone can correct me if I'm wrong, just because I won't go do a search right now. So they're getting to do this all over again, which is kind of exciting. And I suppose ultimately we should all just go over to wherever they are on Petapixel. I don't know if they've got more than one channel, and we should help them out. Or I'm wrong, and the number that I saw at the bottom somewhere this morning was a huge number, and Petapixel don't need our help because they've already got, maybe they've got 1 million subscribers. I think I might have that wrong, actually. Can someone tell me? Is anyone boycott Amazon? Yeah, good point. Oh, they have about 50,000 subs. There you go. So 22,000. I'm getting different numbers here. That's interesting. 22,000, 15,000. How is it we're all seeing different numbers? Okay, I'm gonna have to Google. This is weird. Is YouTube giving us all different answers for some unknown reason? I just almost fell off my chair, which is pretty funny. I'm on a wooden floor with a wooden chair. Just loading that up. Loading. Yes, here we go. There you go. You can hear the guys talking. Well, to me, on their Petapixel side, it says 24,500. Anyway, no big deal. Ultimately, all I'm trying to say here is we can all give Chris and Jordan some love. They've gone from 400,000 subscribers back down to 24,000 or whatever that was. So I'm sure all of us are going to be moving over there because we love the guys. Guys, we love you. And if you ever need a review made from down under, let me know. I'd love to make something for you guys. I think it'd be fun. Some sort of collab. Anyway, what have we got going on here? Roy, sad. We seem to be losing everything photographic, brands, shops, and now YouTube channels. Well, this brings me to a good point that I read somewhere along this DPreview journey. And that is, it's arguable that Amazon is actually not good. It's actually not good for the general photography community. And just hear me out here, because what they do is they sell a lot of cameras, and then that forces smaller camera stores to close. And so we lose that resource. So maybe, and this is just a thought bubble, and I'd love your comments below, but maybe Amazon not being as powerful in this space helps our local camera stores get stronger. And that actually improves all of our personal experiences because there's a store for us to interface with. Something worth considering. That might be the only silver lining out of all of this. And it's a pretty good one, I reckon. Anyway, let's keep going here. Everybody keeps sharing their thoughts. Oh, thanks, Seth. I'll see you later. Take care. And thanks for helping me get live. I couldn't find where to, anyway. Yes, 24.5. Thank you, PJ. You concur. Oh, B, I think you're being a bit harsh there, but thank you for your input. I think I think that was funny, but I don't think it was fair. Petapixel was 17K when I subscribed a couple of hours ago. Wow. Okay, I see what you're saying there, Larry. So this is already growth we're seeing simply because of the power of Jordan and Chris. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Gunther. 100K. G'day, John Riley. Hello to Connecticut. I hope you're well. What time is it in Connecticut? Let me guess. Is it like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, something like that? G'day, Craig. Great to see you here. What we're doing right now is we are sharing our thoughts about DPreview. I just thought I'd come on and give the community a little bit of a hug, give the community a bit of a chance to talk here together about their feelings, the fact that DPreview is closing down. Unbelievable. I can't even believe that it's just done. Was it the 1st of April that they're closing? I can't remember the date, but how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you care at all? Maybe some people don't care. Maybe is there anybody in the community that doesn't really interface with DPreview? I would love to know your thoughts. What else have we got going on here? Joe, tough to compete with Amazon in the camera space. They are cheap and quick. I hope the local camera stores pick up. Maybe this is an area we could explore more in vids. Yeah, absolutely, Joe. I've certainly wanted to interact with my local camera store. And the thing is, in this country where we just don't have the population, I'm just not sure that they have the wriggle room. But now with this fundamental change, if it could be presented to them that this is actually an opportunity for them to get their voice out there more, you never know. You never know. Everything, I mean, you know, one door closes and other doors open for everybody. And this space is open to everybody, which is completely awesome. April 10th, thank you. Thank you for that date. Yes. So Amazon is not good for any industry other than Amazon. Yeah, when Amazon only came to Australia about, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years ago, and it's what we saw is the strategies of local small good sellers and electronics goods sellers. They certainly changed their approach to sales and to fast delivery. One of our biggest electronic stores is called JB Hi-Fi. I suppose it's like Best Buy, I think, in the USA. Don't know all the others in other parts of the world. And you could see they literally would have suddenly we had deal of the day, and just a much more robust and much quicker way of dealing with online. So those guys have survived. They've done well, but it's certainly impacted some. And like Amazon and COVID together, in the city that I live in, we've got a population of over 5 million people. We used to have 5 camera stores in the city of Melbourne. We now have 2. So 3 of them closed. 3 of them closed. And I can imagine it was a mix of COVID and just sales going to Amazon. Definitely sales going to Amazon. It's a thing. It's a thing. Mozman says, had a friend who sold his website to Amazon after they monetized it to an unrecognizable state. They stopped funding it and eventually closed it. Yep, okay, that's cool. G'day, Chris Thomas. How are you, mate? I hope you're traveling well. Another fellow from Melbourne, and Chris joined us recently in the 50 mil 1.2 / 55 mil 1.2 video. Check him out there. He's toting his beautiful ZFC. Chris says he's going to miss them. He's been using DPreview back in the day when assessing the D750. They did such great stuff and gave great insight into cameras and lenses. Yeah, no, they're not. They're not, Roy. It's not the 1st of April. It's the 10th. They might have done that deliberately to ensure that. At this point, there is so many people reporting it, and we've seen Jordan and Chris talk about it in 2 separate videos. It's on The Verge, which The Verge is a pretty large tech website, reputable tech website. There's multiple YouTubers already talking about it. There's no doubt to me. I even saw it in the comments. Camera Labs, Gordon from Camera Labs, he's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. There's no chance this is an April Fool's joke. For people who might have just got to the live stream, no chance. This is absolutely for real. Yeah, Flickr has some great communities. Good point, Tim. Absolutely. Yes, Barry makes a good point that, of course, across the last decade or so, when the camera industry was peaking with compact cameras and interchangeable lens cameras peaking at over 1 million units. 1 million units. Over 1 million units. Sorry, not 1 million. Yep, over 100 million units. About 10 years ago, closer to like 2010, 2011, 2012, they were selling over 100 million units of digital cameras. And now we are sitting around 5 to 6 million units. That's how much the industry is contracted. That's a factor of almost 20 times contraction. And a lot of that can be put down to simply the mobile phone / cell phone and how they continue to improve. And I was actually talking about that last night with the group that I took out, the 15 or 16, 17 people that we took out. And I basically said, well, for me, sure, look, there are absolutely quality differences between the Z9 that we're shooting on here right now with the 50 mil 1.2 that we're shooting on here right now. Hopefully my 85 1.2 is going to arrive soon. I can't wait. Anyway, there are differences. There is no way a mobile phone can do what this does, can't do it in low light. But also, I enjoy the experience of photography. I actually enjoy the craft of going out, choosing a lens, choosing an aperture, a shutter, and an ISO, and so on. It's actually joyful to go through all of that. So I want that experience. I will never stop wanting that experience. And it's like people who prefer records over digital music. Music takes up more space, costs more money, but they love the experience. They love the tactility of it, and they love the sound of it. It's okay. And I think the world will probably have 5 million plus, and there'll be more than 5 million because we're selling 5 million a year and people don't buy cameras every year. There's probably more like 25 million of us who still love the sport and the craft and the joy of holding a camera artifact in our hand and going and doing something with us and using our brains. What I love about photography is we get to use the creative brain on the right. I think the creative's on the right. and the technicals on the left, whatever it is. Someone let me know in the comments below. The fact that we get to use both sides of our brain, we get to walk around and exercise, and we get to hang out with other cool people, and we get to see what a beautiful world we live in. What is there anything bad about what we do? No, it's all good. And the technology that we have today just blows my mind. Anyway, let's go back to the comments and DP review. How's everybody going? Oh gosh, there's lots here now. Yes, John D, they have joined Petapixel. Absolutely true. Yeah, look, JG, it's possible. Amazon's not a huge part of the Australian culture and buying experience. I know in other countries it's immense. It's like 50%. So yes, I think you're right. In some countries, it's pretty difficult to change. And the level of service, like in the USA, I think they deliver within hours. We don't have that same. It's at best overnight. Let me know what Amazon does in your region, wherever you're watching from. What's the quickest Amazon can deliver something to you? Because here, overnight is the quickest, to the best of my understanding. But I'd be interested to know. Yes, almost infamous 42. RIP, the most accessible archive of technical details of all digital cameras released between 1998 till 2023. Absolutely true. It's just such a big deal. And we are all in shock. It really isn't super cool. Well, thank you, Tyler. This is a chance for you to grow and fill the information void. Sure, absolutely. I'm a one-man band, essentially, and I don't have Amazon backing me. I don't have anybody backing me, just myself. So if there's any sponsors out there who'd like to help me fill some of that epic void, sure, I'm up for the challenge. I love this stuff. I love creating. I love photography. I love filmmaking. I love being a nerd, but I also love going out and shooting. I was doing it last night. I've got some nice, actually, I've got a new lens that TT Artisan sent to me. It's the 35mm knocked, 0.95 knocked. I think, I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to talk. I don't know if it's out yet. But anyway, I'm talking about it. APS-C. And it's pretty good. Wide open, it's a lot of light. It's a bit fuzzy, but you get to 2.0 and it's looking really good. Anyway, review coming up about that soon. I'll post a photo in the community tab so you can check that out after I get off this live stream. But yeah, always cool stuff coming, and I'm enjoying testing out the Sony a7R V, and I've done my first shoot trying to work out diffraction. I've already done one. I want to do more. I want to do more testing. I need more lenses. I've now got a 35 1.4 Sony G Master. I'm going to put it up against the 35 1.8S. I'm going to go Z7 because I think that's probably closely related to the a7R V. We're going to put them side by side. But already what I'm seeing is diffraction is real and it is a problem and it does factor into things. But more will come in this space. It's lots of fun though. Anyway, back to DP review because that's what this is about. Amazon has same-day delivery here. Yeah. See, we don't have that. We don't have same-day delivery in Australia. So I can see why people get pretty excited about it. Excuse me while I have a glass of water. Here we go. Oh. And please, everybody, I haven't been saying this, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and hit the like button because it really helps this get out to others who might not have been informed yet, because it does appear. I have a close friend of mine. He goes, Matt, are you still making videos? He says. And I go, yes, I do 2 a week, 2 or 3 a week. And he's going, I don't get any notifications anymore. Yes. So even people that are subscribed and maybe have hit the bell, I'm not getting notified. So please, unless I'm dead, I'm here making videos every week. Every like 1 or 2 a week for sure. So please come back, subscribe, hit the notification, do all that stuff. You know the drill. We've all heard it a million times. I wish we didn't have to say it anymore. How fast can Amazon deliver to Alice Springs in Australia? I don't know, Robert. I doubt they have a warehouse there, and it is 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers away from, maybe even more, from Sydney. So probably 2,000 kilometers from Sydney. I'm guessing they could do overnight. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Jump on the website and find out. Anyone have Jeff Bezos' mobile number? Good point, Luke. I'll be ringing that later. Waiting for the second part of the 35 mil. Yes, fair call, John. So much gear. It just comes hard and fast. B&H site says estimated ship date Thursday, March 23rd for 85 1.2. I hope that's correct. March 23rd. Well, here it's the 22nd. I can't wait. That might mean I get it tomorrow. Oh my God. Can't wait to show you guys. I know I've already made a big video about it, but somehow it feels different when it's not your lens. Now this one's actually mine. I've paid for it and I'm excited and I can't wait to put it in the kit. Just such a beautiful lens. But thank you for sharing that, Chuck. Andrew, have had same-day deliveries from Amazon in Melbourne if you have Prime and order early enough. Okay, didn't know. See, that's where I'm going wrong. I just don't order before lunch. So I will keep that in mind. Okay, so they're upping their game here. I did notice I was driving out to the west just 2 weeks ago, out through, I don't know what that suburb is out there, but out past Footscray. And Amazon have just built a new warehouse, massive thing. So they've got one in the west and one in the south. So they're growing. They're growing. Anyway. Good question. Robert R. I've never received anything from Amazon in less than 1 to 2 days. I live 7 miles from a huge distribution center. But then again, I probably don't buy things that are typify buy does. Yes, interesting. It's all different for everyone, isn't it? We all get we all get different experiences. Roy, diffraction is real on lenses. Yes, absolutely. Now, I don't know if anybody noticed, Panasonic, I think it was, have announced their, I think it was called organic sensor, which brings the actual sensor part of the sensor. So a sensor is essentially, I hope not to spill this on my laptop. A photo site is essentially a bucket like this, and the actual light gathering circuitry is closer to the bottom. So the light has to kind of bounce in there. And I don't know if this is correct. If anybody knows, please tell me. And because it's got to get in there, as the incidence change, as your apertures change, the light attack incidence, it makes it harder for it to get down there and the information gets fuzzier. And that's diffraction. I think I could be wrong. I've been trying to work it out. Anyway, Panasonic have moved that sensor higher up. So it's closer to the top, and it might help with diffraction. On their website, they didn't say, on their press release, they didn't say it would help with diffraction, but they did say it might give us 1 or 2 stops of extra light gathering capability. That would be cool. Far out. That would be amazing. Anyway, back to DP review. As we're coming up to the 50-minute mark here with the live stream, any more thoughts from anybody about how they feel about, and have they got any thanks or any thoughts that they want to share with DP Review and the rest of the team, with Phil, the original founder? This is one of many opportunities. I'm sure there will be other opportunities for us to all share our thoughts about DP Review as this, because right now this is just sinking in for all of us, isn't it? It's just sinking in. And when the lights actually go out in 20 days' time, in less than 20 days' time, maybe it'll feel more real. If the site literally goes dark, if you literally type in DP review and you get server error, it's going to be a bit harsh, isn't it? It's not going to feel right at all. Whew. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. DP Review and Matt Irwin were key resources helping me decide to buy my Nikon Z6 II. Oh, thank you, Larry. Thank you for sharing that. I love those stories because I love having a good time. I love having fun, but I also love having the best tool for the use case. And ultimately, all I'm trying to do here is go, look, I'm Matt. I'm a photographer. I'm a filmmaker. This is what I do. This is my wheelhouse. If your wheelhouse is similar to my wheelhouse, then I'm going to push this technology to show you what you can do with it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to show you what I do. And if it looks like it works for you and I've managed to convey that, man, am I so excited about that. That's all my goal is here. So if I ever stray from that, let me know. Let me know. Keep me honest, keep me tight. That's what I want. All right. Bill, welcome, Bill. How are you? The forums are a mixed bag. A few topics are almost guaranteed to spark firestorms. But on the whole, The members and discussions are focused on helping others. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like everything in life, pros and cons, DP Review it would certainly have, I would have thought, more pros than cons. Nothing is perfect. Not even me. Anyway, Chuck, Greg Wilson, Nature Photography, I'm waiting on the phone call. Yes, okay. So Chuck might have an 85 mil coming soon. Let's compare notes, Chuck. Can't wait. Chris Thomas, I saw that Panasonic News earlier today, there was an article that had diagrams and constructions on how it would minimize diffraction. Oh, there it is. Okay. People expect a video coming soon. I had theorized it would, I presume, Chris, if you can let me know, I presume that it was, well, minimized. There you go. So bringing the actual light sensitive part of the photo site higher up here is going to impact diffraction. So we might, for the first time in a long time, see a technological shift. And this is a bit like the technical, hold it. Energy saver turned on. Great, got it. It took me quite a while to set this up and my laptop's starting to go flat, but it won't go flat before we finish. I'm still got 20%. Tons, we'll be fine. What was I talking about? Completely distracted myself with this error message from my laptop. Anyway, no problem. We will keep moving, but yeah, diffraction. Oh yes, paradigm shifts. You know, things like moving from CCD to CMOS, major change. CMOS then adding BSI, backside illuminated, gave us more high ISO performance. Now we have stack sensors, which are getting super close to being global. In other words, the entire thing can be downloaded off the sensor at the same moment in time, in history. We're getting very close to that in the 35 mil, in this space that we're talking about. Obviously, we see that in the cine space already. And now we have another technology which might help with diffraction, and it also might give us even higher, better ISO performance. For example, can you imagine if 3200 looked like 400, something like that? Yeah, 400, 800, well, 1600. 400 looks like 1600. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. I love that idea. Thank you, Chris, by the way. You'll send me the link. You're a good man. Going to miss it? Yes, John, absolutely, Craig. See, so DPreview was sold to Amazon at some point, and Amazon is nixing the site altogether as part of some downsizing effort. Yes, Craig, that appears to be what's happening. When I've been reading some articles, you know, Amazon have, like Meta have, and like Google have, tens of thousands of people, tens of thousands across the whole industry, thousands of people from each of those companies are being laid off. And somehow the 10 to 15 people that work at DPreview have been caught up in this massive IT thing. And look, we could talk about the world, we could talk about COVID, we could talk about global inflation, we could talk about wars, we could talk about supply constraint globally. All of these things are factoring in, and more things that I suspect we don't all know about. Some people will know about it, and they should tell us in the comments below any theories that they have on all of this stuff. Petapixel up to 25,000. So they've put on another 800 subscribers just while we've been talking about it. That's pretty cool. Yes, Alex from Chicago, that is the sunshine. They are the trees there in the backyard. Pretty cool. Tim, good night. Good night, Matt, and photographic friends. It's 2 a.m. in the Netherlands. Oh, Tim, thank you for joining us from the Netherlands. It's great to know that you're here, and I look forward to seeing you again. And one day I'll get to the Netherlands when we start traveling again. We can. I just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, short flange distance causes problems with the angle of the photo sites, but do we call that diffraction? I would have thought it's all related. Yeah, I would have thought it's all related, Roy. Absolutely. Yeah, good idea, Tim, to take out the S2 Pro tomorrow in honor of DPreview. All right, everybody. Well, as we come up on the 1 hour mark, I am super pumped and excited to have had you all here whilst we share our thoughts about DPreview. I think more will come out over this over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And If this is not an elaborate April Fool's joke, which I definitely think it is not, then yes, our world is changing. And if Amazon do not decide to just lock the site and just keep it there as a resource, that's going to be a massive change. And even moving forward, as whatever products come out from everybody, I'm sure at some point in time we're going to see, a Sony A1 II, and of course everybody's waiting for the Canon R1. DPreview will not be reviewing these things, and that's kind of weird. It's kind of like a breakup of a relationship with DPreview and, I don't know, a few million people. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. So let's talk about this again. Let's keep the conversation going. Once this is not live, people please feel free to comment in the other comments that will be there as well. It's really sad. And at the end of all of this, we send out our love to those people that lost their jobs and to those people that have brought us so much information, so much wisdom, so much joy. All of this stuff is so cool. And they did it. Now, of course, it was their job, but still, it's not always easy creating this stuff. It's there's a lot of thought and work that goes into it all. Anyway, we've got a few more comments flying here. Thank you, Joe. It's a pleasure. G'day, Trevor from South America. Far out. What time is it in South America? It must be 10 o'clock at night there, or something like that. Tim, which mount are you on? Are you on the F mount maybe at the moment? Yeah, let's hope we see something on the Z8 soon. I can't wait. Z8, Z6 III, Z7 III, who knows? Like, I was looking at the Z5, and the Z5 is only three years old as well. So if Nikon are running on the 4-year cycle, which is what they used to before the world went mirrorless crazy, then even a Z5 update might not be until next year. So, who knows what's next. Hi from China. Hello, Pharaoh Man. Fantastic. Love seeing someone from China here. And yes, we are all going to miss DPreview. It's just such a huge thing. Yes, thank you, John R. Please hit the thumbs up button. Let's get to over 100 likes. We should do that at least. I'm very proud to say that my 85mm 1.2 video has had almost 2,000 likes. I want to get it to 2,000. It's only at 1,857 or something. If you haven't liked that video, if you could jump over there and just quickly like it, that would be so awesome. Because it would be my most liked video ever. Anyway, there's just a sideways plug for me. Greg says maybe Amazon will be buying Nikon to get new products out next. Maybe. Yep, they still have us in the greys, that's for sure, John. And Constantine, I suspect Amazon may have attempted a sale but failed to find a buyer. Sure, absolutely. That's absolutely possible. Cheers, Mozman. I might get into organized live streams at some point. I will. I promise. It's the plan. And for subscribers, which I'd like to thank you for being a channel member, not a channel subscriber. And thank you. Hi from Ireland. It's currently 1:20 a.m. Daniel, I won't keep you up any longer. We're going to hit the 1 hour mark. It's been great. It's been great to talk to the community because, I woke up this morning and went, what? Like, I can't believe it. I'm going to go off and it's lunchtime here. I'm going to go make a sandwich and a cup of tea and sit there and go, these guys, DPreview, they have been part of my life for half of my life. What? And of my photographic experience, what is it? It's like 80% of it. This is huge. It's huge. Can't believe it. Pleasure, Deborah. Absolute pleasure. And a great pleasure to have you here too. Thank you. Trevor, DPreview were instrumental in me getting my Z7. There you go. Absolutely. Oh, thanks, Craig, for watching it a few times. I appreciate that. I would like to see the 85 AFD Nikkor in the comparison video. I don't have that lens. If anybody's got that lens and they want me to review it, send it to me. I will send it back. But yes, I just don't own everything under the sun. I could. Do they still make it? I could ask maybe Nikon to lend me one. Oh, thank you, Phil. Thank you. Yes, the 85 video, I loved it, and it was a joy to make it. And it was literally like 50 hours, 60 hours in the edit suite. But there it is. It was worth it. And yeah, I mean, the lens is so spectacular that you just want to keep sharing as much as you can about this lens. It's just crazy. Yeah, totally agree, Tim. Maybe Netherlands to Australia is a bit too far, but that's all right. Roy has everything. Okay, maybe Roy can help me out with that. PD, pleasure. Same to you, sir. Keep up the good work on your channel. All right, everybody, as we just roll over 1 hour. Yes, we've just rolled over 1 hour. Thank you for joining me impromptuly. It's a pleasure. And it's a really nice feeling to be able to jump on here and to suddenly have, I don't know, across the time, how many, maybe I can hit on a button and see how many people we've had here, but it's going to have been a couple of hundred. And that's just really awesome. You are part of my community. I am part of your community. We are community, and let's keep that up, all right? Because I don't know, we're all over the world, but we absolutely dig the same thing. Okay, everybody, will you take care? Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all again very soon. And for those that it's 2 a.m., thank you. Like Tim in the Netherlands, I think it was 2 a.m. Yeah, ads. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I will say goodbye at this point. Our commiserations to DPreview and the team. Okay. Take care. And maybe I'll